I'm Buffalo, bro. Apágale la luz a esos. Apágale la luz a los de estos. Y de ahí sale una póliza para que sea tu papá.
There's just a lot going on, and I'm hungry, and the vending machine only has those plain low-sodium table crackers. Oh man, that sucks. I'll manage. Hey, so I'm finally doing that app upgrade I've been talking about, with a little help from my friends. That's a brilliant pun. It doesn't make sense, but it will in a minute.
Bájale a eso. Me voy. Los lucho por la cocina. No. I want to. Goes with his mom to the next therapist. He waits in the car while she heads inside. Maria tells the therapist that she's going to release cancer, and instead makes most of the she has left. And I will forever associate that song with this scene because it's something else. Turns out Chucky hits the ride of the drink, and the last drink of the car slowly but surely. So it's at ramming speed. He turns around just in time to score. He said crashing. Bob, don't give me that coy bullshit. Were you one of the most stupid characters on the show? Thanks to you, we have to kiss her goodbye. The kill is beautiful. Not it! Terrifically dramatic. I look at the freeze death is the most
Still got work to do.
Now that she's gone, it's also a bummer for us. The going is such a joy. He did a damn good job selling that ball. Three therapist from the Devon suicide. Devastated Logan.
Okay, I'm here. There should be a launcher somewhere around there. I don't see anything. Okay, I see the launcher. Now what? You're gonna 3D print a friend.
I see it in your home when they lay a trap for Chucky inspired by Martin's space gear. All this fishing line and movie traffic is the perfect kind of 80s hijinks.
Friendly relay network drone.
That's good, but
it doesn't really matter.
I realize Chucky's
coming
through the fireplace.
Spatial and temporal correlated signals.
Nah, but it did happen in Child's Play 1. Research, kids! Chucky finds Lex still alone upstairs. Says he won't kill her if she kills Jake. Chucky needs a kid to kill somebody. She thinks interest long enough for Jake to batter. And though Chucky slides away from that attack, gets hit like a bitch by Devin. After the police officer does nothing. Chucky charges Devin but runs straight past him. He's not trying to kill his kid. Instead, he wants to further isolate them and killing their parents like Detective Evans.
Okay,
looking for them.
Local network
Chucky jumps on her and swings around until she falls down the stairs. At which point she breaks her neck. And he runs away, leaving yet another kid traumatized by a nightmare. And no, sure knows how to be happy.
This was just supposed to be a school project. We took a field trip to everything happened to us. Now we fall asleep. We enter a whole new dimension. How do I break this sunset? You feel like parts of the world are sleeping in real life. Will we escape this there? To please.
Boy said Spider-Man was at the gun club. Gotta move before he gets here.
Awake is held for brief, but she's not the only thing that's dead. Thanks to his mother's murder, Devin quits the Three Chucksketeers. He breaks up with Jake to make it extra official. Junior comes outside and punches Jake out of anger. More chaos is in it. And Tiffany Valentine arrives with Jennifer Tilly's body. She walks up to Logan and shoots out with him in front of everyone. Son, why'd she do this? Mancini and Tilly say Tiffany honestly doesn't know. She's just fighter to see what will happen, which is actually how this show's whole story began in the first place. In the first episode, a woman in a red coat leaves the yard sale right before he can find Chucky. That was meant to be tickets to dropping off the doll so it can get into trouble. Now, I haven't yet mentioned something that Kill Count fans are used to hearing from the title. Each episode is Super Chucky, being made out of content relevant to its plot. For instance, syringes, the one with Sean Payton's content. Episode 7 has gravestone next to all the dead kids.
Spider-Man isn't going to get you into
hospital. I'll make it, Ma. Sarah Fitz, first post-mortem from the great pool from Child's Play 2 and Outfit Squad, who I had to look up because I forgot it was the birth name of Damien Baylock to Thrive. From Redman to Eddie Caputo, this title card is full of Easter eggs for fans of the franchise. The music great. It's a nice take on the theme of Child's Play 2, but of course I can't include the twin, or else it would give me a copyright claim. Another flashback puts us in Chicago, 1988, butting right up against when we saw Chucky's story begin about 30 years ago. I
should be in physics class right now, memorizing abstract equations for hypothetical situations.
That's one from Pizza Delivery Guy. Sorry, here's a tip. Kill him. Eventually, take cover. Well, Chucky.
You want to put all the cards over here?
I found Chucky says typically leads to a night out on his own. Later, not revenge with a phone call. Okay, then he tipped off Detective, leading to the chase that with Chucky, transferring control to a good guy.
People need my help.
10 years prior, back when he was writing First Chucky. Speaking of first, you may be wondering, like I am, how this fits in with that movie's there, we saw Chucky, just not saying, and somehow fucking outside.
Let's hit these last quests and get back to
left that place and found a chase that opened the first movie. Personally, I think the TV series explanation works best, and unfortunately, there's no elaboration of how or if Sarah fits in with this new info. Her as a captive sidekick, he was pretty obsessed in her, much different from the detached killer in this show. I wish there had been a line from Tiffany saying she knew about Chucky's other obsessions. Season 2 was better screwed over. Mayor Cross holds a press conference saying everything's fine now. Fairchild's been arrested, so no more deaths to worry about. To celebrate their success, he's holding a charity screening of Frankenstein. Don't Reporters drilled Sarah Cross. Even pitch a question to her young man.
You still here, Marco?
That shit was just so. Andy and
Miles, it's MJ.
full officer. Andy took me out.
I'm finding Sandman again. Did he escape already?
He knows all about how perfect look at how Virgil Wheeler's are in the wake of the new death. You can find Chucky in his bedroom. He's always trying to leader against his dad. The kid is upset about Loki taking out with another woman at his mom's grave. Chucky exploits that. Tiffany's safety gambit pays off once again.
Okay, I talked to the doctors. Is there a sand crystal being near you?
Yes.
Okay. The doctors say Marco's mind is broken. Literally shattered in pieces.
Freaky! So where are these sand dudes attacking me?
I love how that's Tiffany's
subconscious trying to
mentioned them to drive.
protect whatever's in that crystal. But listen,
And
you
earlier
can find all the pieces. They say you might be able to
talks
make
about them in the
them
House of
Being a
Promotional
sand
video
person
for
sounds
season 2.
complicated.
It's one of her words, like always quoting her mother, that makes Tiffany so delightful. That and her constant references to her favorite Jennifer Tilly.
Who was your subconscious protecting?
Aren't you a little bit sitting down?
Tiffany implies she had been having an affair with Jesus. That led to his mom's apparent suicide. Having done enough damage for now, Tiffany moves into his own devices. Out of curiosity, yet maybe even to revenge his mother, Devin decides to check out Charles Lee Ray's he jumps there by himself, the window to get inside. Damn, kid, your mom would have rescued that. Nika hears Devin and calls out for him.
Hey,
And she unties her from the chair.
Looks like some VIP
Nika
stuck in a
can't
limo.
stand. I'm a bitch.
Kinky,
Easy
is
track.
Mrs. Samitas
Punch
in there?
card should be filled
Yeah.
now. Here's Fiona Dora played Nika, Charles Lee Ray, Nika possessed by Charles Lee Ray, Nika pretending possessed by Charles Lee Ray, and now finally Nika possessed by Charles Lee Ray pretending to be Nika. Glad we got this
You do too
one.
much
Just
already.
like every
Plus,
iteration.
if you help me get
Devin
into
broke up with
college,
a
you never
Jason,
shut up
run
about
away
it.
from home, but at the train station he sees a good guy dump using money he stole from Logan. Meeting the delivery guy and find out that he's going to Charles Lee Ray's home. After giving the doll the "you best not be possessed," Nick and Lexi realize that Devin was also headed to Charles P. Ray's old home. What they don't know yet is that Devin's not alone. A drunken Logan stumbles upstairs and tries to talk to Junior, only to find his son sitting with a doll. This pivotal confrontation
stay away from that
great
limo.
head spin, during which Chucky changes his face from evil to undercover. Junior puts Chucky in and allows the doll to do the talking for
The
him.
paparazzi with guns? Y'all are the
I like the new
worst. You know
good guy
that?
voice performance by childhood. It sounds enough like eating
Can't we all
groceries
just let people be people?
with its own personal style. It's hilarious when they use it for the finale's opening recap. And it's a great contrast to Chucky's real voice. Chucky forces Logan out of the room. He's talking as though he's a ventriloquist dummy. This
Let's
is
check on that
honestly
person in
another
the limo.
tragedy for Junior Wheeler. He can't even have his own catharsis with his dad. It has to go through Chucky, who's exploiting his reputation. Bree's apparent suicide as a final wedge. Junior's storyline really works as an exploration of how young, disaffected people, usually boys, can be taken advantage of and violent. Chucky tried that with Jake and failed, but with Junior he succeeds. He pushes his dad and knocks the camera sideways. Then he takes that Chucky doll and, in another homage to magic, beats his dad down. Junior uses the good guys to murder his father Logan, which Chucky's
Spider-Man,
rich.
you gotta
Not
consider
changed
the
in the West before. Mostly though, Chucky's happy to have finally gotten a kid to kill someone. You have no idea it's Logan, which Chucky seems absolutely thrilled about. He's never been used as a weapon before. Mostly though, Chucky's happy to have finally gotten a kid to kill someone. You have no idea how hard it's been getting one of you little shit.
Hey, Spider-Man! Who it
He
is?
knows how to kill like this. He needs to kick his big plans into motion, or more specifically, put into motion a whole army of other Chucky dolls. Devin sees firsthand the cult of Chucky is alive and well.
No! I'm helping you, man!
As always, the true cause of Chucky of the this combination
Never change. Just be nice to the doctors.
The team was once again led by Tony Curran and was excited to return to the Chucky family under Don Mancini. All the usual techniques and technologies were used. A lot of green suit performances like they mastered the colors. I honestly think this is the best adult film book. If not in design, then for sure in its performance. Baby Stab's solid outstanding. The tears had to be up their game even more so than usual, since they didn't get to do as many takes as they would during the film shoot.
We have to be really because we don't get a chance to mess around on camera.
Andy arrives at Junior's house after getting the address from Jake earlier. Junior and Chucky see his arrival through the window.
It's also part of
Principal Evans.
No, right?
Hi. Yes, this is me.
Pretty much a two Alex Vincent like that,
sorry.
man. There's a
There was an
suspenseful
emergency and
sequence where Junior
I'll be
lets
there soon,
Andy
I
in and
promise.
he looks around, but ultimately he doesn't find nary a Chucky
Oh,
or
no.
corpse. After he leaves, the ginger ghoulie unwraps
Breaking up.
herself from his hiding spot.
Soon.
He didn't want to deal with Andy's gun. I hate guns. They're like my Achilles heel, along with axes, fire, and those big industrial-sized fingers.
Where's
Always love the adherence to continuity.
Just
Chucky
left.
has, in fact, died because
Something
of
about
guns, axes,
going on
fire,
vacation?
and those big industrial-sized fans. Lexi and Jake try to figure out why Chucky wants one of them to kill somebody.
What?
Hey, that's exactly right, kid. As much as Mancini
Also,
personally
while you
doesn't
were
like the
gone,
voodoo element,
I
he won't
found
ignore
out
that it's canon.
that I
The
got
goofy that created the Chucky army
Rand
also worked on the good guy
scholarship.
at the train station.
Are you
He's
serious?
activated like some kind of
Bro, that's like
Belturian
a full
candidate
ride.
that attacks them, remembering the reference that slipped
Big
in
day
earlier
for
Chucky's
everyone.
line in Seed.
Really missing out. Oh, man.
Oh my
can't
fucking
watch this.
god, that was awesome! Holy good lord, they make these dolls so pulpy and bloody. It is absolutely grotesque. The doll was obliterated by time.
I know
Kyle's
this
got the
looks
lowdown.
terrible.
It's so slim, Mel. Like what its limitations
I'm
are.
so sorry.
It's more than looks.
No, I know.
Has to be an identical vessel.
And this is the
absolute
last thing that I wanted to happen, and it'll never happen again.
I've had enough of this.
She says that if Chucky can
more
corrupt an innocent,
excuses.
make them kill
Your
somebody, it will
job
allow him to
is to
create an
protect
army.
these
This
students,
may seem out of
not to
nowhere, but
abandon
it's not
them.
entirely. After all,
fired.
he'll try to get Nika to kill Dr. Foley and Colt. And besides, this franchise occasionally adds new rules.
Dude.
We can roll with it. Another new rule?
You being
Sometimes you
Spider-Man
gotta drug
is
teenagers for
so
their own good.
hard
Don't
keeping a
live by
job.
that rule, though. Kyle's just trying to keep these kids safe, so he
But
puts them to bed.
I'm sure that you're gonna
save Devin.
figure it
Tiffany
out.
gets home and finds Nika on the ground. only it's not Nika, it's Charles. He got them kicking powers. There these two go fighting again.
How many times have I killed you? Is it 3?
Oh, I got you. It's 4. Now human body and doll body. Yeah, that's what I have. The tip with Tip is interrupted by Junior and a nicer Chucky.
I'm kind of used to having her around.
Sweet thing.
Once again, Don Mancini wields multiple Chuckies to hilarious effect.
Fuck you.
Hey,
Thank
Sorry about
you,
that, Charles.
Chucky.
In certain
You weren't the
scenes like
worst
this
teacher
one,
you've
will be
ever
played
had.
by little kids. Jennifer
Could
Tilly
put
found
that on
this
my resume?
and
Well,
Jacob
listen, there's
excruciating
an open
the
photo
I
plot at the New York
experienced pure
Village.
joy.
I just sent a shot
My
in yesterday.
ovaries just started
It's
spraying
not
back
much
to
money,
life.
but
In my
it's
months making the
That's
Chucky
Bobby Robertson's
video,
paper.
I've seen lots of
We
footage
used to
of
work
the cast
together at
having a
Hugo.
blast, especially
just
Fiona
what
and
he'd like.
Jennifer Tilly.
Thanks, Miles.
No
Lying
problem.
together.
I
It
might
was
send him a
nice to
few
see
more
the
shots
new
if I
younger
have
cast
time.
having
Robbie
just
always
good
said,
time on set, and that
"Don't
the
show me
adults
the
and
city.
kids were both complimentary
Show
of
me you."
and intimidated by each other.
That is so cool of kids. Well, really good at what they do. I hope they don't think I'm a big blush, you know? And also, when you guys are all together, like with your inside jokes and handshakes, whatever, it's great. Then when you catapulted back to high school, it's like, who's the popular job? Make it go like, go like talking to yeah.
Ain't that
And
something?
Tiffany shows her new guests the company she's been keeping. Not just a Captain Devin, but also an army of Chuckies, thanks to Junior having killed his dad. Bang up job there, June. That friend's tied up, and now you gotta hang out with boomers.
Peter, how you doing, son?
Rob? Hey, hi.
I
know
love the
this is
Pat
out
Nest
of the
scene
blue.
with all these
I
Chuckies
wanted
being
to let you
around.
know I
They
just
discuss
sent
if there
a
should
photo
be a
for your
lower
open
age
wall.
limit for the
Wonderful.
victims.
We can
No,
definitely
thank you.
run this.
We're not
I gotta
savage.
take you to a meeting.
It's a
If
spirited
you find a
debate.
beating heart of New York anywhere else, send him my way.
It culminates in a DS eerie
You too,
chorus
Robbie.
of Chucky laughs.
Thanks.
You'll have a gay old time. Just like with Buzzcut Chucky and Cult, Brad Dourif uses a higher pitched voice when playing the newly born Chuckies to help give them an air of innocence that probably isn't deserved. There are so many Chuckies in this scene, they had to fill the background with Trick or Treat Studios dolls, since it'd be too costly to make that many animatronics. Trick or Treat Studios makes the consumer-grade Chucky dolls that I've been using in the back of this review. Production also used a Trick or Treat Chucky body for the one Kyle shot and killed, and
Sorry,
the stuff
my
of
train.
Barry Van head on top. The Chucky army is loaded up and taken away on a truck, leaving the party down to only 2 Chuckies. They're more interested in each other than poor old Pippin.
My grandma always talked about
Things
how
get physical, knocking Nika back into control, and Doll Chucky don't mind it either. Tells Tip to kill Chuck Nika, saying they don't need the Chucky inside of
she
him.
was late
It's
and the guy
meant
in
to
front
turn
of her
more of me on that truck. Noting that very exact number. Tiffany refuses because she likes Nika, so she jumps on the doll and ruthlessly decapitates it. Though she gets his head off, the doll's not dead, and she teases it by revealing she's the one who called the cops back in '88. He responds with anger. With one quote of her mother, he throws the Chucky head away. I adore Tilly's unhinged performance.
I'm gonna get to go.
Tiffany is such a scary person. Plays everything off like it's a fun game.
It was already a rivalry for the ages when it was just David versus Goliath.
Tiffany knocks Nika out and forces Junior to tie her up. Then she rigs a booby trap and mentions her kid by name for the first time since seeing.
Seth, by using the exact same mascot, it stepped up to another level.
Explosives, evidently, since this is a bomb for when Andy comes to knock him. They leave with Junior keeping one doll for himself.
Okay. You can keep going. You gotta clean up the mess.
Them dolls are messy, and just look at the decapitated one. Currently directed at Bobby to get up and murder Devin.
Kill the twink.
Oh my god. Devin is saved by Andy, who says he came in through the window. But after he unties Devin, they hear Kyle arrive outside. With Chucky using his good guy voice, he moves to the booby-trapped front door. When she opens it, it trips and hits him.
Say what
Fade
you
out.
will
She
about
sets off an
social
explosion that blows the house up. I'm gonna count the Chucky head as a filmer now, but that's it. Any other kills are TBD. Jake and Lexi wake up from the drunk and learn about the house exploding. And yes, the news story says fatalities, plural, but I don't know what to make of that yet. Show me the proof! In any case, despite a brief emotional fake-out, it's confirmed right away that Devin is still alive. Turns him a big old king. It's time for the Frankenstein charity stream. Mayor Cross knows how to bring in the celebs.
Oscar-nominated actress and professional poker player, Jennifer Tilly.
Fuck yeah, respect that shit play. This must be an exciting moment for Tiffany. She's been dressing Jennifer Tilly more elegantly as seen with her Tippi Hedren-inspired outfit at home. She wants to rise above the actress's status from when she was making B-movies in the scene.
Jennifer Tilly, before taking into the Bollywood to be a B-list actress, I think it's very ambitious. She wants to be an English actress.
Jennifer Tilly announces that she's sending out the 72 Chucky dolls to needful children around the country. Except for this one. Caroline can have him.
I'm sure one measly little sick child can take care of himself.
Lexi is lured into the building by Peter and Chucky, who draw her deeper and deeper backstage. They wind up behind the screen as the movie gets going for the audience. I love that Frankenstein is the centerpiece of this climax, especially when Chucky gives commentary as the monster accidentally kills the little girl.
This is my favorite part.
Chuck can only laugh at killing for so long before he wants to do it himself, so he sneaks beneath the seats and stabs upward. The next time we see Nathan, he's bleeding out the mouth in a kill that makes no sense to me, but hey, we get a bloody popcorn bit out of it. The screams kicking off a killing extravaganza. Counting through the cuts, I saw 6 people get stabbed in the butt during this ordeal. Later, a wide shot lingers on both seats, and it also shows 6 bodies plus Nathan. 3 more bodies are shown in the aisle when Jake and Devin arrive. And one final shot shows 1 new body blurry in the background, giving this massacre a final tally of 10 kills of Nathan. Devin extracted Caroline from the theater, as Jake confronts Chucky for the final showdown. He gives a wonderful bad guy monologue, says that he'll live on forever. No one will remember the victim's name. All they'll remember is the universe of the peaceful life. My body count. Speaking from experience, that's true. Jakey makes a run for it, but Chucky slashes him down. The lampshades a common criticism of the character. You're how could a
couple's being attacked. Better hurry.
It's a simple explanation. Strength comes from the power. As the chaos unfolds, Lexi gets through her goodness down. He says kill him. They break those bridges. Strong boy. She makes an impassioned plea and says he isn't really the monster he's become. When Chucky cheers for Junior to kill his ex-girlfriend, the monster turns on its master and puts a knife in Chucky's chest. Damn, some dolls die way easier than others. But surprise! Junior has a knife in his chest too. His tragic character arc comes to a tragic end. As the Chucky series shows, he's not afraid to kill a teenager. Jake mashes his buttons faster than Chucky, so he overpowers the doll. He yells at Chucky for killing his dad.
Apart like vultures. I'll let Miles know we can put this stuff to better use.
Stand Up Act in 2003 by squeezing his eyes out. Holy shit, that is a nasty-ass doll kill. Wild Chucky series in a way I love. Jake and Devin embrace. They walk off together. The end. It's a universal fiction. Except it's not the end. You still need to wrap some shit up. Jake and Devin learn that Junior's dead. Yeah.
It is convenient in the city. But I'm not convinced I'm a bike person.
Convince me.
What's wrong?
I got fired.
You were so excited about this job.
I know. I had the whole semester planned out. Next week, we were gonna make a potato-powered helicopter.
I'm so sorry. I might be joining you in the unemployment line.
Jonah already cleaning house?
Sort of. He's instituting a radical meritocracy.
Yikes, what does that even mean?
It means that whoever doesn't write a front-page story in the next week is fired.
Oh, well, you'll be fine then, because you're the best reporter they have. What you got in there?
Unsold Symkaria books. Running out of storage at my place.
But you got great reviews.
I sold 14 copies. Nobody wanted to read about Symkaria. The Bugle is the biggest outlet in the city. I can make a difference there. But if I get fired, I don't know what I'll do.
Do you even need the Bugle to do what you want to do?
I tried making an impact from the outside and 14 copies. Now I need to change things from the inside.
I haven't had time to clean.
Yeah, I know. Womp womp. Tiffany sends off
Back room?
Chucky.
Yeah.
It's hijacked by Andy and survived the house explosion. He gives a T2 thumbs up to the kids.
I'm just
Saw
gonna
Tiffany
tidy up
drive
space.
by her car that she's disabled. Good job, Andy. You saved the day, except for one little doll-sized problem.
And here I perfectly have the pleasure. I Tiffany, the doll, not the person.
Hell yeah! We finally get a return of Tiffany the doll after seeing her in the back seat at the end of Cult. And as far as Tiffany the person goes, I can't say I like her anymore. Because she wakes up Nika and says that she needed to neutralize the Chucky inside her. To do so, she's cut off all of Nika's limbs. Just about Johnny got his gun to her. Come on, Don. Nika's been through so much already. This feels like a step too far into cruelty. I don't know how it can be fixed. Miss Fairchild is free, because that didn't really go anywhere. And the trio of friends visit the Hackensack Cemetery, which has got to be running out of room. They hug, not noticing a nearby leather glove. Is it Kyle? Someone else? Only time will tell. How many kills did
Wow.
Hello.
I didn't see you there.
Been here like an hour, dude.
I'm Chucky.
I know.
And I hope you enjoyed my new show.
Well, I did, but why are you...
Speaking of who died, let's review, shall we?
What, mother chucker? You want to come and take my job? Fine. Let's duke it out at the numbers. All right. What do you got, Chuck?
Don't wait.
We mortgaged the house.
Leverage our safety net to fortify you and your family's safety today.
First part of season 3. Unfortunately, I'm slacker. I'm a slacker. And I'm sorry, but I will soon. And then I know that so many people want the Chucky season 2 kill count. April 10th, a little sooner than I was expecting for an update, so that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen in time for that. That's got 2 things going against it, and one of them, which is in our control, is still a huge update. It's a lot of fucking work, dude. It's a lot of fucking work, man. So, I'd love to do it. But also, here's the other thing, is maybe I would have started rewatching Chucky season 2 and getting a feel for how I do the kill counts, but my mom watched season 1 with me when I rewatched that show for that kill count, and she fucking loved it. I'm going to be visiting her in April, and so I'm kind of just waiting to rewatch season 2 with her. I think I'm going to watch season 2 with my mom, and so after I rewatch it, then I'll start to think about So I'll try to do season 2 this year, but with the reason I was able to do TV shows in previous years was because I took time off from the weekly kill counts coming out. During that time off, again, it's never time off. It's time that kill counts aren't coming out because I would be working on those TV shows. I mean, there's a reason the Stranger Things season 3 episode was the first one from when I came back from that 2022 break. It was because the 2 months prior to it, I was working on that episode. TV shows are a ton of work. There's so many more hours of content to go through and summarize, and then the behind-the-scenes stuff is always harder to find because it's not like a Blu-ray with some featurettes, so it's a lot more work, and since we didn't take a break this year, since we've just stuck to the kill count every week, I haven't had the time to engage with that stuff, especially with the award show and They Talk and Production Tales from Hell going on. So once all that stuff's out, after March 3rd, that's when the award show comes out and Production Tales will be done and uploaded and ready for its weekly releases. Then I can start kind of thinking about that stuff, but right now I can't. I'm sorry. I would love to, though. And then Stranger Things 4, dude, I don't know what to fucking tell you on that one, man. I don't know. Don't blame me. They're the ones who made every episode a fucking feature-length movie length. With the last ones being 2 hours, 2.5 hours just for single episodes. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that, dude? What the fuck am I supposed to do with that many hours? It probably would be a 4-hour kill count. No, it would probably be 2 hours.
Get out of here! I'll
at the very least. Season 4, great, yeah, it's good. But those episodes are fucking long. Each episode is like a 90-minute movie. Unless they're longer. But yes, it's very good. My favorite since the first one, probably.
Okay, we need a backpack, marks, notebooks, erasers, laptop, and a lunch kit.
Odie does it. Supply list at OfficeDepot.com and get up to 60% off. This is how we do it.
Cider Kid is the weatherproof, wallet-friendly, boredom-killing destination for families, friends, dates, and colleagues in the heart of Fort Worth. Just $12 for unlimited play on hundreds of games all day. That's right, no game cards, no tokens, just 100% free days. Tons of house-made drinks are on tap. And if you're hungry, try our delicious artisan pizzas. Beat the heat this summer and check Cider Kid off your Fort Worth bucket list.
Drunk so she can go and rest. Hopper loses track of time and rushes home to the cabin after bargaining with the child for the Halloween candy. He tries to guilt trip 11 into coming to eat with him as she shuts herself in her bedroom watching TV, until eventually turning it into static to enter the void in order to visit Mike telepathically, who at the same time was trying to contact her through the walkie-talkie. He asks her to give him a sign if she's still there, and she does as he feels her presence through the void but doesn't see her, so he turns off his walkie-talkie and walks away. Dustin arrives home after a fun night trick-or-treating and hears the rustling in the bin again. This time the bin shakes violently. He goes to investigate and discovers the creature. He takes it inside and it shakes in his ghost trap. He tells his mum that he's just rigged it up to look like he caught an actual ghost. He goes into his room, takes Yodel the turtle out of his cage and puts the creature inside. He figures it might be hungry and that's why it was in the trash. So he gives it 3 musketeers and figures out that it won't come out if it's hot. He calls it D'Artagnan, or Dart for short, and Dustin studies creatures for a while before falling asleep, while Dart begins to shake and growl violently. The next morning Dustin goes straight to the library and tries to order books about reptiles and other creatures, but he can only borrow 5 at a time, so he redirects her attention and steals the book from her. 11 is still upset at Hopper and he baits her out with an Eggo extravaganza. He knows she visited Mike last night in the void, and Hopper offers to go and check on it. They argue a bit about when she'll be able to leave properly and see Mike, and she pushes the table and slams the door shut with her powers. Bob takes Will to school one morning and they talk about him walking around last night and about his nightmares. He tells Will the story of Mr. Baldo, a clown that would appear in his nightmares every night. Every night he would run away from the clown, but one night the nightmare stopped after he stood his ground and yelled at Mr. Baldo to go away. Lucas and Max start talking about what's going on with Will. In class, Dustin barges in and arrives late, telling the boys to go meet in the AV club at lunch and then Max, as his bag rattles. He brought Dart to school. Hopper and his officers put together their information on where they saw the rot stop, and Hopper figures out that all the ends make circles that lead back to the lab. Hopper goes and talks to Dr. Owens about it, that it's all spreading from the lab, and Hopper asks him to convince him that there's not a leak and they all got it covered, to go to every area on the map and do tests on it. Hopper tells Dr. Owens that he needs to keep his shit out of his town, and he needs to convince him that it's not spreading. While back at his cabin, 11 breaks all 3 of his rules. She ventures outside and sees a mum and her child, asking her where the school is. She uses her powers to distract the kid and then she walks away. At lunch, he opens the trap and they all meet Dart. They pass the creature around from Max to Lucas to Will and then to Mike. They talk about what it is. Dustin says he's researched all different species, but none quite matched up, as if it's a brand new one. But while talking, they see that there's something moving within it and shine the light to it, and it gets scared and roars. After hearing this, Will remembers hearing its roar in one of his visions. The bell goes and they all talk about possibly showing Mr. Clark. Nancy and Jonathan have lunch and talk about last night at Tina's and then all the stuff that's happened. Nancy comes up with an idea to arrange over the phone to meet Bob's parents and tell them the truth about what happened to her and the monster. Nancy gives the location and time to meet up, but the lab overhears what she says. Joyce checks the footage from Will's attack last night, and after calling Bob, figures out how to connect it to her TV, and she begins to watch through it. She sees the bullies and then him falling over, and then calling for Mike, but also sees a figure in the recording static. She grabs paper and draws the figure, seeing that it's the same figure that he drew the other night. After learning AV Club was possibly cancelled, she heads straight for the school. Back at school, after the bell rings, Dustin is about to show Mr. Clark Dart, and clarifies that it's his discovery and not Mr. Clark's. But Mike rushes in and tells them that they need to go now. They go inside the AV Club, locking the door on Max, they can talk about it. Mike tells them that Will saw something like Dart last year, but also heard it in one of its episodes, and that maybe Will can somehow see into the Upside Down. The monster rattles in the cage, and Mike grabs the light to prepare to attack, just in case. Dustin opens the cage, and it grows legs right in front of them. It roars and Mike attacks, but Dustin stops him from hitting it directly. Outside, Mac picklocks the door, trying to get inside and see what they're talking about, and so Dart escapes and runs down the hall. After meeting with Dr. Owens at one of the sites and showing him that they're gonna test it, Papa learns that Eleven left as the mum called the police. At this time, though, Eleven's at the school and sees their bikes. She goes inside the building to find them, while all the group is still looking for Dart. Mike goes into the gym and runs into Max, and he and Max argue about her joining the group, and Mike accidentally spills about Elle. Max shows him tricks in the gym with her skateboard, and Eleven sees him having fun and decides to use her powers to knock Max off her board. Max tells Mike about how it felt like a magnet that pushed her off her board, and Mike knows straight away that it sounds like 11, so he goes and checks, but doesn't tell her. Will goes inside the toilets and finds Dart. He contacts the others about where it is, but Dart squeals at him. He drops the walkie-talkie and runs outside, only to phase into the Upside Down. He looks around and sees the shadow turn the corner and start to follow him. He runs as fast as he can, trying to outrun the shadow monster until he exits the school building. Dustin finds Dart before the others and puts it under his hat. Mike, Max, and Lucas come inside the bathroom, and Dustin tells him that Dart's not there, but Mike realizes that Will isn't either. Will remembers Bob's words about Mr. Boulder, so he stands his ground as he watches the shadow rise from the school. He yells at it to go away over and over until the shadow attacks Will and goes inside of his body.
We'll deal with Scorpion later.
She hears Dusty calling out of the room, and she meets him. She runs inside the building, telling him all where he is, but Mike and Lucas found him on the stairs. And in the Upside Down, Will gets taken inside the shadow monster, and after the shadow is fully inside of him, he instantly snaps back to reality. As Joyce takes Will home, the boys tell that it's been working. And 2 episodes of Tuesday. Max, however, at the buyers to his host in Europe, telling him to tell her the truth and confronting him about the shadow monster. He tells her that it's not healing, that he tried to make a dull life, that he felt it everywhere, that he just wants all of it to be over, and back to his old life before he even thinks about the Upside Down. Reflected back to the palace, with puppets figure staring carefully into the dark. The outside such
I'm here, guys! I got you!
Grounds with all goes, no TV for a week, but before he can complete, she uses her powers to stop him from the TV, so he bumps it up to 2 weeks. She doesn't hug, so he bumps it up to a month, then to never again. She tries to fix her TV and Papa pulls off the rat, chucking the dictionary to her, but Eleven catches it with her mind and flings the dictionary at Hopper, then knocking him over with a couch, slamming things around the house and then locking the door. Eleven screams and all the windows within the cabin smash. The next morning he goes to work, hoping that she cleans up before he comes back home. And she uses her powers to clean up the house until she finds a trap door while cleaning and opens it. She finds a box containing info on Hawkins' lab. She grabs it and finds Terry Ives' file, and then decides to contact her via the Void. Within the Void, she sees Terry repeating words in her chair, until she suddenly stops and turns. Terry feels Eleven's presence, and while shocked, calls out the name Jane, and Eleven leaves the Void, realizing her mum is still alive. Will wakes up and Joyce realizes that he's actually naturally colder, and when Joyce goes to give him a warm bath, he goes to it and drinks all the water, saying that he prefers it cold. Hopper eventually arrives and Will attempts to explain the shadow monster to them, saying he just knows things now. Old memories in the back of his head, but not his memories, and not even memories at all, as if it's happening right now.
On me. How many times I gotta tell you people?
While this is happening, Mike tries to contact the buyers, but they don't. So Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, and not Max, go to the AV club and they discuss what happened on Halloween night and what might have happened on the field. Mike plans to go to his house on the way home and tells Dustin and Lucas they must find Dart. So Mike goes to the house to see Will and reveals to Joyce that he knows about the shadow monster. Nancy and Jonathan are waiting at the place they told Barb's parents to meet. They notice people staring at them and following them, and they go to their car to drive away, only to notice their car isn't starting. They are surrounded and then forcibly taken to Hawkins' lab. This lab were listening to their conversation about revealing the truth to Barb's parents. When they get there, Dr. Owens gets them to follow him, and eventually he leads them to the gate, telling them that they can't reverse this mistake and that they're trying to stop it from spreading. But the main reason they don't want anyone revealing anything is that the Soviets, for example, might not think it's a mistake at all, and might try and replicate it, creating a new game. And that's the possible consequences of revealing what happened to Barb. But unbeknownst to Owens, they recorded his speech. After school, Max is annoyed at Lucas and the group for basically ditching her with no reason, at least to her knowledge. Billy sees them argue, and in the car, Marge tells her not to hang around anymore and to stay away from Lucas. Dustin, however, heads straight home and discovers that Dart broke out of the tether cage, so he searches his room to find a much larger Dart feeding on the lifeless body of Lucas, as it eventually turns to him and screams. Bruce and Hopper realize that although it's just lines and dashes, they actually connect with each other, and they join together over a long time in order to form a larger image. They see it all laid out and realize it looks like the roots with a dirt color. They think about what Will said about it, how it's spreading and killing, and Hopper realizes what it might be, that he's drawing vine. Hopper goes to one of the pumpkin patches and digs down until he hits some sort of goo. He discovers below his hollow and digs a large enough hole to hop down, only to find himself in a seemingly endless underground tunnel with the upside down floors floating all around. Hopper explores the cave and upon spotting something on the roof, is sprayed directly with spore-like particles not once but twice, and slowly loses consciousness as the hole he entered reboots himself. Will tries to explain his connection to the Shadow Monster to Mike. Mike tells Will that he's a spy now, spying on the Shadow Monster. But Will tells Mike what if the Shadow Monster is spying on them? But Mike assures him that they won't let it and Will be safe from it no matter what. Jonathan and Nancy check into a motel before making their next move with their plan. But while inside, they talk about last year and how they still have their scars and they share a moment, talking about why nothing happened between them, and they head to sleep. Will wakes up suddenly and Mike notices. They go and tell Joyce that he saw Hopper and he's in trouble and might die in the tunnels. And Will draws and then points out where he saw Hopper, marking an X in the exact spot. So Mike and Joyce look around until they find the place that fits. Underground, Hopper regains his consciousness, spitting out goo, and he decides to try and escape straight away. And after he realizes his hole is now covered, he covers his mouth up and keeps investigating. And he finds a graveyard. He lights a match and realizes that the vines don't like fire. So he lights a larger fire on a stick and begins trying to escape. While resting for a moment due to exhaustion, vines tangle around him and trap him. He falls over and gets fully trapped underground. Dustin's mum keeps looking confused and he smartly sends his mum away. As soon as she leaves though, Dustin instantly starts preparing his trap for Dart. He opens the door, letting Dart loose, and he runs to the shed and watches as Dart follows his trap. When Dart approaches the door, he runs out and hits Dart right into the cellar and locks him in there. He attempts to get help from anyone else, but he can't reach anyone. He goes to the Wheelers to find Mike, but his parents have no help. Eventually, though, he finds Steve ready to apologize to Nancy about earlier, and he grabs Steve's attention, gets in his car, and gets his help to kill Dart. 11 gets a ride to Terry Ives' home where she meets Becky, who first sends her away until 11 unlocks and opens the door on her own, saying she wants to see her mum. Becky lets her in and 11 discovers her mother is stuck in a state she doesn't understand. They both talk and Becky shows 11 the room that was meant to be for her. She notices that the lights are flickering and makes a path straight to Terry. 11 realizes she wants to talk and is able to connect with her through the void, and is able to see the memories playing inside Terry's mind of everything that happened to her baby until she was forced into this state. 11 tells Becky what she saw in Terry's mind, and that she thinks Terry wants her to find the girl, Carly, who was with 11 as a child. Becky helps her find a picture of Carly, and at night 11 uses the void to locate her. 11 goes to tell Becky she found her, but Becky called the police, asking for Hopper and Joyce for the police to try and locate the two and bring them to Terry's. But 11 overhears this and steals money from Becky, leaving to find them.
Too busy to visit your family?
Nah, we just giving you space after you got out.
Don't need me. Besides, we gotta settle some things.
We do?
See you soon.
Just go see him and get it over with, man. Then we focus on because Lee's working. This time we need to plan something big.
Carly. Jonathan and Nancy drive to meet with Murray Bowman, and they tell him the truth about Barb's disappearance. After talking, Murray decides the best way to take down Hawkins Lab is to make a watered-down version of the story, as it will be way more believable to the public than the full-on truth about interdimensional monsters. Nancy, Jonathan, and Murray send out the evidence against the lab to national newspapers. After they do so, he sets up a bed for Nancy, and Jonathan can sleep on the pull-out, although he tells them to just cut the bullshit and sleep together. Eventually, Nancy and Jonathan give in to their feelings and sleep together. Lucas is able to lure Max into the back and decides to tell Max the truth about what happened last year, telling her to accept the risk. But after seeing her, she doesn't immediately believe him and thinks Lucas is just making up a story, and they argue outside of the room. When she starts talking about the top secret information outside, he shuts up and tells her that she's going to get them both killed if she keeps talking, and Max asks him to prove it, but Billy arrives and she has to leave. Billy can something to her about Lucas. The lab looks at the soil samples from the pumpkin patches and watches them react to heat, and all the samples seem to do the same thing with a hive mind. Bob arrives at the buyers and Joyce asks him to help find the X Will drew, and Bob realizes the drawings are a map of Hawkins itself and he helps locate the X. They leave to find Hopper immediately, and when they don't know where to go, Will tells them where he is and leads them down the right path. When they see Hopper's vehicle, the vines in the ground get inside down. When they get down, they search for Hopper and are able to cut him free. Before a moment's rest, workers from the lab arrive in the tunnels and they burn it fully, which causes Will extreme pain as he collapses to the ground and begins to have a seizure. Will is rushed to Hawkins' lab. They don't understand what's going on as he said he's burning, but there's no burn marks on him. They keep asking questions until he's eventually put to sleep. Dustin and Steve travel to Dustin's. Upon arriving, Steve rescues Dart. Steve eventually goes down the cellar and discovers that Dart has shed his skin again, and is escaped by making a tunnel that unknowingly to them leads to the larger tunnels, which after burning the caves, the scientists discover that was connected to them burning. They go to the buyer's camp and take photos of everything, the vines he drew in the shadow monster, etc. Back at the lab, Joyce talks to all the head scientists and gets mad at them, wondering what's wrong with our boy. Lucas eventually is told by Erica that Dustin yelled about a code red, so he uses the walkie-talkie and talks to Dustin about it, which they tell Lucas to meet Dustin with.
Not much is known about this new collective, other than their penchant for animal skins. But one thing is abundantly clear. Spider-Man did nothing to impede them. Had law enforcement been allowed to do their job, these criminals wouldn't be in the wind. Looks like we have an eyewitness calling in. Caller, you're live.
Hi, Jonah. Thanks for having me. Just want to point out that what you're saying is a total lie.
Here we go.
I was there on the pier. Law enforcement was completely outmatched. The Spider-Men saved countless lives and almost stopped those bow and arrow geeks too.
First, you're lucky to be alive. Second, let me ask you, just this week alone, can you guess how much property damage those vigilantes are responsible for?
No, but that's not the issue here.
I don't have time to get into a circuitous whataboutism argument when there are costumed criminals reducing our city to...
We really gotta do this.
Steve on the tracks. Lucas goes to Max's house and tells her that he has proof. He goes around the house and Max gets on his bike as they ride to Dustin and Steve. Dr. Owens shows Hopper the gate, but not like it was before, the now grown gate, larger than ever. They go all the way down and figure out that the tunnels are connected to the gate. Hopper asks why they haven't burned it yet, and Dr. Owen tells them that there's a complication. While in Will's room, Joyce tells Bob about what really happened to Will, and the fact that he will probably have to sign a lot of confidentiality documents. Will wakes back up, but when he asks who Bob is, they realize he's losing his memory. They test Will and it's proven he knows his own name, doesn't know Dr. Owens, but he knows Mike. But they ask him about last night when he set the shadow. They bring his piece of the vine. Begins to do a burn.
This is not on me.
Which causes Will to sting. They keep going and Will gets
We
more
can't
tired.
let him live up here.
It's too much. They know
It's
Will
just another kind of prison.
It's not that easy.
Steve
I said it was.
in order to possibly lure
But
Dark.
sometimes you gotta push
While
the past
they
away
talk about our relationship.
so you can
Steve
make
gives
room
him
for
the
the
bike
future.
shadow and also about his hair and what product.
Drake
transformed himself to a dog. He actually did look. Look.
All means problems will top you.
Olivia Rise in Chicago.
No. It's Drake.
God, that shit ain't right. Dashed it by a decommissioned Exxon near Central Park.
Yeah, I know that. They show up their tattoos.
Are you really putting power behind you?
And Polly shows up at Palace 11, creating a butterfly in her mind. Polly gives her a bed and more to stay overnight. Carly and the gang talk about 11, how she can find people without moving, and they plan to go hunt the next day.
Inside.
Uses the void to hear a message from Hopper. As outside the lab, Hopper radios.
How did you...
She tells her about where he is and that he's sorry about what's happened.
That Lee
But
business?
inside of the lab, the head scientist
Don't
talks
be
about what's
stupid.
going on with Will, and how something is spreading in his brain. No one has suggestions on what to do, and they talk about how they can't slay the burn. Dr. Owens doesn't like the idea, and he'll kill Will. Joyce gets up to go talk to Dr. Owens. While she argues with the guards, the shadow monster inside of Will thinks about what
I'm serious. I've heard this gem can turn your brain into
earlier in the
scrambled
day,
eggs.
Jonathan and Nancy
Leave
both
it alone.
make
Now what else is going on?
They leave Murray to
How's
go by.
college?
Drawings all over the wall.
You like it?
So
So there is.
back inside the lab, they lay out all the things on the table. Shadow Monster doesn't know.
I'm here.
Scientists gear up and head
What am I looking for?
Just use your eyes.
Carly introduces Eleven to
Uploaded
the
some
game.
prowler
They
code
tell
in
Eleven
your
about what they
mask.
do, and they find
Of course you
aka the
The
people
stash
who
stays hidden.
Carly
Text
goes
the code from my
to
suit.
much like one. She says to use all of her anger to prove an extremely heavy train towards her. So she channels all of her anger to successfully get up all the way to her and Carly as she falls from all the energy she used. And the gang congratulate her. Then 11 remembers and locates Ray Coral, and they all plan to murder Ray that night. 11 uses her powers to locate him in the movie. They all gear up and give 11 a complete makeover to make her fit in. And
Last
Hopper
letter
has
said
this
cryptic
plan.
key.
The whole gang will
Give it a
hop in the
shot.
van, which inside they talk about.
Don't cheat.
They arrive at the gas station, and Carly uses her powers to distract the worker, and Robert stops. The worker comes back out and makes a gun. Eleven uses her powers to push him
Not
away
bad,
across the
kid.
wall, and as officers come, they all run away into the van and escape. That night, they arrive at Ray's house. Getting out of their vehicle, some kill. 11 opens the door and turns the TV off to distract him as they enter. Scotty and Axel begin to be while Carly reminds Ray of Ray. 11 pushes them to the wall, and Ray tells him that he's what Dr. Freddy told him to do, and that he's still alive, and that he can help them find him. 11 doesn't believe this, and decides but after seeing a photo of Ray with the children, 11 changes her mind, and the others find those very children born in the so she lets him live and prevents Carly from shooting them as well. They run quickly and head back to the island. Lucas and Max have a moment, so they hear dance. Lucas sees the beast and tells him to shoot. So Steve grabs his bat and chucks dust in the lighter. He goes outside to take the distracting beast until Lucas spots another one in the distance. Not just one, but multiple. Lucas yells at Steve and he sees all the different versions of
You would have made it decent problem. You should be seeing how to get inside.
They shut the door. The Demogorgon dog keeps trying to get inside and doesn't keep trying to get more help. But there's something above him next. The Demogorgon dog growls as Steve pushes Max aside to fight it. This position and runs away. Back underground, the scientists are almost at the location when Hopper notices they've just been led to the graveyard. They notice that nothing's there and strange noises are heard at the hospital.
Got it. You want to finally tell me what this is?
Old suit types. Feel free to keep some
It's a
good
trap
taste.
and walk in.
Cool.
So the Shadow Monster can get
definitely
revenge on the
use
soldiers. Demogorgon dogs
Listen,
one by one.
this isn't the only stash.
The elevator.
Whoever freed Lee sounds like my tech is right up your alley. I want it falling in
At
the
the
wrong
hideout,
hands.
Holly's her
You're the only person I trust.
She was able to survive after a
Coordinates are in mass.
Holly gets her vision. But 11 kicks Holly out of her head as she tells 11 about fighting back. But the gang is ambushed by police as they slowly enter their hideout. Up in 11's room, she tries to locate Mike and Hopper using the void. Sees Hopper seeing the agents being killed by the dogs, and Mike yelling about Will's trap. But she returns back as the police enter the building. Carly gives all the officers a vision. But the vision is that they're all just not there.
Thanks,
They
Hank.
escape their hideout, but on their way out, she's trying to find the police. Holly
What
uses
Miles
her
gonna
powers
say
to
about this?
Oye, Miles, me enteré de lo que pasó con el transfer y con... Bien.
Sí, ma, todo bien. Estaba ayudando a Uncle Aaron with some stuff.
Ah, ¿y cómo está él?
Está tratando.
Pues qué bueno.
Mami, te veo en casa. And before you ask me again, estoy bien. Te lo juro. Te quiero. Let's head out to the city. See what's going on.
The elevator.
Maybe even find Lee while I'm at it.
After Will started to get his own mother, she puts Will to sleep. Hopper and Dr. Owens enter and see them all. They head to the security/surveillance.
Maybe I should find more Marco's mind fragments.
Actually invent.
Find out what's eating them.
Essentially in the past.
Okay, y'all are done.
They will be she's in a very good mood. She's ready to obey. She is. Realizes could just say, it's just really the boys walking through the hall. We can get on the steps. They're in the hall. That's the bit. We'll see them like a sharp power. Just have that. Back inside the lab, jump up. Probably goes to the like, all the inside it. Everyone. Mob goes up the everything in that theorized about realizing the power of that. And it's the rest of the crew. He's got the they talk briefly until they
tank needs to be sealed up.
And realize something terrible. The status belt goes all the way down. They're getting outside for the last time. All those people do this. The government really goes down. While actually this price for give them the skin. Buffalo stays with the other boys on his lab.
Probably shouldn't tell Mom about how close I got to an almost exploding gas truck.
The both head and to my husband to a possible. As he's giving the way clear and
Miles?
Remember? Here was the name of
Oh, right, that's today.
Mr. Atlas confirmed to me here. One jump through the door and
music technology program
couple
in the
walks
state.
but as you guys are walking more,
I have so many questions for him. Be there
you
soon.
further out. The Demogorgon goes trying to break through the entrance door as Jonathan pulls up. They get in and all escape. The rest of the kids and Steve get into Harper's van and they all drive straight to the fire. Harper tries to contact military backup, and with little to no hope, Harper goes to comfort Joyce. They all talk about what's going on and discuss their options against the Demogorgon. Mike figures out that they're all connected and have a hive. They gather everyone else and talk about the
City seems pretty quiet. Still no sign of Lee. Or the gang that took him.
Their walls. But if
Wonder if Pete's having better luck than me.
And Joyce agrees that they don't know how until Mike realizes that the only way Joyce having killed this thing is Will. And Mike tells them they can't fly it because of where he is. They all count classes together, making it impossible for Will to kill him. They grab Will from the chair, just in case when they're all back to the top of the Will are wearing prints and letters. Mike's eventually Will comes. He talks to them about his birthday and the happy memories from the past. Then he talks to them about the day that they built past the fire to replicate the storm. That they stayed out even during the rain to finish building it, and then you got to the castle. Mike talks to Will about their friendship, the birthday they met, and how they were both each other's best friends. They started to get to Will and asked him to talk to them, that reminds him of Will's recent sacrifice. Harper realizes Will was attacking in a chair and recognizes his code. So they all dig into the house and realize Will's telling them that he's still there. Talking is a form of communication that the mind player wouldn't even realize. Jonathan grabs the best day of Draco and plays out as if more close to Will. Eventually they pick up the message from this game. As soon as they figure it out, Will closes and starts to the house. They first sleep and walk outside the shed. They hear the Demogorgon outside. The entire crew gathers to any weapons they can set up there and go.
It looks like an accident waiting to happen. You sure you want to do this? Okay.
They all place a gun towards the door so that open blind and shoot Wolf.
It's like they know I'm too busy when they do this.
Mike is looking at the last time almost concealed in calm. They hug him along the whole time she knows and opposite the hunters time. He grabs him and they argue to Steve until he gets off.
I left my backpack around here somewhere.
And they talk briefly. Max tries to introduce herself, but due to earlier, Levin ignores her and goes straight to Will. She goes and talks to Will and receives the message about her today. 11 calls Will and gets close to Gabe. The Gabe is the mind player of the planning to enter the game the Demodogs are guarding. Billy during this time visited the Sinclairs.
Hey Miles, what's up? Hey, good to see you. Man, I can't believe Mr. Atlas is going to be here at BV. Maybe one of those scholarships has my name on it, if he likes my sound.
New reproductive technologies are on the horizon. Check it out in this brochure.
We've got preventative contraception information.
Please consult your parents and your primary care physician.
They'll help you find what's right for you.
Yes, those are free. Remember to stay safe. Miles, over here.
Hey. You made it. I want to talk to him about that computational physics program.
We got your missing person report half an hour ago. What happened?
I just heard 2 words. Missing in person. So I'm gonna say yes.
Go ahead. We'll save your seat.
Gotta catch up to the principal. Maybe I can find out more.
If I lose this in this robot case, I'm gonna break something there.
Is it unlocked?
Here we go.
Just some notifications from her fitness tracker. It's counting her steps.
If I lose this dinner, I'm gonna...
The students adore Miss Ferguson.
Nope, Aaron, I'm gonna break something.
Please find her. We'll do our best.
I'm gonna break the sound barrier. I'm gonna break the sound
Sounds
barrier.
like she's still wearing her fitness tracker. Wonder if I can find that signal. Alright. Let's see where this fitness tracker is. Last known location, Dawson Harbor.
Beginning text-to-speech call with Haley Cooper. Miles, Mr. Atlas just got here. ETA?
Oh man, gotta find Miss Ferguson first. Be there when I can.
He's handing out scholarship applications right now.
Can you get one for me?
I'll do better than that. Sent you a link.
Thanks.
Good luck. And hurry.
Hey, Miles.
What's up, Genki? Can this wait?
Not really. I've got Mr. Atlas here. I told him how you were missing the fair for volunteer work, and he asked for a phone call with you. Is, now a good time?
Thanks, Genki. But now is definitely not a good time.
Here he is, Mr. Atlas. I know you've got a flight to catch.
Genki!
Hi, Miles?
Yeah. Hello.
You're whispering. Is now a bad time?
No. I'll make it work. That's me.
Great. I heard you're interested in our music technology program. So, tell me about yourself. What do you do for fun?
Fun? Well, I used to do music production, but it's been hard to find time lately.
Genki here showed me some of your samples. Good stuff. Particularly your song called Swinging. What was your inspiration?
Yeah. I was, just swinging one day and thinking. The tune just kind of came to me.
Interesting. And can you tell me about what's important to you in life?
Being there for people when they need me. Being reliable, trustworthy, someone people can depend on.
Very interesting. And finally, why do you think you'd make a great addition to our school?
I don't give up. And, I care about doing the right thing. I won't let you down.
Fascinating. Well, Miles, thanks for your time. I think I've got enough here.
Thanks. Do you want my email so we can stay in touch, or,
I got a bad feeling about today.
That could have gone better. Maybe I can make it back to BV in time to meet Mr. Atlas in person and clarify some things.
We have to get him.
Ay, ya, te dije que apagaras eso. Las luces de ahí y eso de que bonita. Ahí te va a dar otra que sí, tapamos que bonita. Pero apaga esa. Gracias. Pero apaga esas. Aaron, ya apagaste.
Bro, you were just watching a live stream.
Let's see where that tracker's sitting.
Aaron, por favor. Mañana nos vamos a levantar temprano, a hacer tortillas y pancakes que quieras de ahí. Te vamos a despertar bien temprano. Yo dije waffles. No, pancakes. No se tardan más. Aaron, ya.
Por favor, déjame acabar con esta misión, mamá. Mamá, déjame acabar esta misión, me hace falta bien poquito, por favor.
Can I sleep on here? Te vas a dormir ahí y te vas a dormir temprano. ¿Dormir papá? ¿Qué dices, madre? Dormir papá. Dormir papá.
I want to find Miss Ferguson.
Papá,
I
dormir
better
papá.
find that signal. There she is. This glass looks pretty breakable.
The next step to open the
I got you. Are you okay?
I'm fine. But who are these people? How do they know I work for Rand?
Let's figure that out.
Ya me acaban la misión. No, it's literally already over. Ya se acabó, mamá. Sí, ya se acabó.
¿Ya?
Se me acabando. Mamá, se anda acabando. Dígame.
messing up my operations, Spider Brat.
Your operation.
You done?